Peace and power, family. Welcome back to Unto Read with B. And I got a little reading for y'all for the new moon and solar eclipse. Okay, so the first message that came up in this reading, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it, was to pay attention to when and where shame shows up and adjust, right? Shame is one of those things that is so deeply rooted that you are not even going to really recognize when you're moving from shame, right? But when you do, when you pay attention and you're like, wait, am I feeling some shame? Am I feeling some guilt around this? When you do notice those things, you got to pay attention to when it's showing up and where. Who are you with when shame is showing up? And you need to adjust. Adjust the surroundings, adjust the thoughts, adjust the actions. Do you feel shame for a reason? Or is this some shame from the past that you need to let go of? Adjust. Okay? The next tip says, replace unhealthy habits with new habits that align with your favorite self. And the key to this is the favorite self aspect, right? Because I think the best self, the word best, and like we gotta be the best, it just puts too much pressure. My shoulders be heavy. So when I think about what habits I want to embody, I think about what is my favorite self? What is my favorite be? Like, what is she doing? What does she look like? What kind of practices is she practicing? And that's the thing that I want to adjust to. And it helps me actually come up with things. It helps me come up with new practices to embody. My favorite be is a dancer. So I be dancing all the time. Because that's what I want to embody, right? I want to embody that joy and that movement and the embodiment of word and sound. So think about that. What is your favorite self and how can you move more in that energy? The next tip is prioritize recharging and refueling. What gives you energy? How do you reground and align, right? So thinking about those two questions, what are the things that motivate you, that make you want to work, that make you want to move, that make you want to get up and do things? What are those things? You need to do more of those things. You need to spend time researching and engaging with things around those topics. And also, how do you reground and realign? What are those things that bring you back to center, bring you back to focus, knock you out of whatever you're going through so that you know your why and what you need to do next? You need to spend time doing more of that, because a lot of the time we're just running around from crisis to crisis, from one thing to the next thing, not remembering why we're doing it and just doing shit because something need to be done, right? And also to distract us from what we thinking about and what we know we got to do. So you need to recharge, do things that give you energy so that you can do the things that you need to do. But in order to do the things you need to do, you need to figure out, like, what is my base? What is my foundation? What is my start? So that you can have the energy to figure out what you need to do next. The next tip is to speak your intentions daily and check in repeatedly. So this is important because I'm a firm believer in how you start your day is very important, right? So if you set your intentions at the beginning of the day and check in repeatedly throughout the day, you can have a better day because you know what you're trying to get out of the day and you're checking in. Am I actually doing what I said I wanted to be doing? If you want to have a more active day and you still in the house at 2 o'clock, checking in at 2 o'clock, you're going to be like, wait a minute. I need to go outside. I need to move my body. Okay? So checking in with self itself is so important. And setting intentions give you something to check in about. Gives you something to check in around. So speak your intentions daily and check in repeatedly. The next tip says, journal around gratitude with a smile, right? The act of smiling actually lifts your spirit, actually creates a chemical reaction in your brain and brings about better energy. So if you are one, noting the things that you are grateful for and smiling, you are boosting the energy around wanting to have a positive experience. You're inviting more positivity into your space, right? It's the little things, it's the simple things. All of these things add up. And if you prioritize doing things that make you feel better and put you in a better space, you'll have more energy to do the things that you know you need to be doing. Okay. The next tip says, reflect on your current circumstances. Do you think you're worthy of more? And this one is important because what you think your self-worth is going to be represented in everything around you. Where you living, what you eating, how you dressing, all of these things. Your self-worth is visible. Okay? And if it's not visible to nobody but you, it's visible, right? So check out your current circumstances. Look around. What are you giving in the realm of self-worth, right? What do you really feel about yourself? It's very evident in your surroundings. So do a check-in. Check in with your surroundings. Is this actually where you think you are worthy? Do you think you are worthy of more than what you're experiencing? I ain't saying do nothing about it, but that would probably be nice too. The next tip says, evaluate how you are resting. Is it good rest? How do you feel after? What would make it better, right? We could always rest better. And there are different kinds of rest, right? Sometimes you need to rest your body. Sometimes you need to rest your mind. Sometimes you need to rest your spirit. Okay? So what kind of rest are you actually getting? Are you doing a lot of body rest, but you still sitting in the bed, running your mind over and over and over, running over, overthinking, doing all the things, and you actually aren't giving your mind time to actually rest so that you can think about what you need to be doing? Right. How do you feel after you rest? When you take a good long over nap, are you feeling actually rested or are you feeling sluggish, right? You have to evaluate the practices and the habits that you have so that you can figure out, is this actually helping me get what I want? Are you actually being more creative after experiencing this rest? Or are you actually feeling sluggish and want to rest more? Are you sleeping too much? Get real. Get honest. It's only you. You're the only one that really cares and really needs to know. All right. The next tip, it says, you are surrounded by infinite abundance. Appreciate and use it responsibly. I need some water. Infinite abundance, right? Something that I talked about before was our idea of abundance needing to shift and needing to grow and expand, right? If you have a house, a car, some clothes, some food, you are abundant, baby, because everybody ain't got that, right? So recognizing and readjusting your idea of abundance into an infinite amount, you can start seeing abundance everywhere. Do you have abundance of friends, abundance of family, abundance of memes that make you laugh? Where is the abundance in your life? And noting that you have these things, how can you use them in a responsible way? Are you gonna stay scrolling through the memes for 3 hours? Is that a responsible way to use the abundance of memes that you have? All right. This season is really about, in my opinion, because I don't know, I'm just going off the energies. Is really about rest and and evaluation, right? You want to be resting, and you want to be thinking about what is actually working and what is not working. What is getting me towards my goal and what is getting in the way. Okay, that's what this season is giving. The next tip says, don't forget to dream. It's best done at rest, right? So when you are visualizing, when you are thinking about all of the things that you could create, all of the things you could do, it's best to do that when you're chilling, not when you on the go, running around, moving from thing to thing, taking care of everybody but yourself. That is not the best time to create dreams and to create visions, right? So what you need to do is get into rest mode, get into some rest. And in that, you can figure out, what do I actually want to see? What do I actually want to experience? What new things am I open to now after all of these experiences that I've had, right? So get into some rest so that you can dream. The next tip says, feel your feels. and speak your truths. Keeping it in kills. Okay, stress kills. They've done the research and it's proven. Heart disease is one of the number one things that is killing, especially black folks. Okay? So, feel what you are feeling. Don't run away from your feelings. Feel them, especially as a creative. Our feelings are fuel. What you feel, you can put into your art, put into your creation, put into whatever you're doing, right? And speak your truths. Use your art to be real, to speak reality, to show the world what's really going on with you and in your life and around you, right? Speak these truths, because holding all of this stuff in is going to hurt your heart and it's going to kill you. I hope you felt that. The next tip says, tap into your spirituality. It is a resource, right? And the reason why I appreciate the idea of spirituality over like religion is because spirituality is more connected to around what you feel is right for you, right? So whereas religion is like a set of rules and practices that are aligned with a certain group, spirituality can be anything that you make it, right? So tap into the different resources and tools that are available through you through all of the religions. If it's something you like from there, pull from there. If it's something like you like from over there, pull from there. You want to meditate and read the Bible, do it all. You know what I'm saying? Because these are resources. These are tools that you can use to help you, right? And they all are really working towards one goal, love, in my opinion. So in order to love more, especially yourself and others, use the tools that are at your hands. And you can find out what the tools and practices of any religion are via Google, or by meeting people who are practicing them and asking questions, right? That gives you new ideas for things to create as well. So tap into your spirituality. Tap into your spirit. What does your spirit want? What does your spirit want to do? What is your spirit thinking about? Next up, prioritize grounding in the present. It's the only moment that matters now. A lot of times we get so caught up in the past and so caught up in the future, right? We are thinking in like, let me get grounded so that I can do the work that I need to do. Let me get grounded so that I can release the emotions from the past. No, you need to be getting grounded in the right now. What do you feel right now? How does your body feel right now? Well, I need water right now, and I should probably get that. My body is telling me that. But how do you get grounded in the now, in your needs right now? Because taking care of yourself right now is going to release whatever you got going on in the past, because you're focusing on the present, and prepare you for whatever you got to do in the future because you getting yourself together right now. So get grounded in the now, in the present, right? Stop harping on and heaping on and overthinking and doing everything with the ideas of the past and the future in mind. Prioritize the now. The next tip says, do all the things you wish you could as a child with joy and intention, right? A lot of us, and I'll speak for myself, a lot of us didn't get to do some of the things that we wanted to do when we were little, right? And right now, we have the ability to do those things. If you are a colorer, color. If you are a puzzler, puzzle. If you want to go to amusement parks and ride all the rides, go to the amusement parks and ride all the rides, okay? Do whatever you wanted to do as a child with new energy, with joy, and with intention. I want to do this so that I can experience the joy and the laughter and the fun and the freedom and the relaxation and the openness and the freedom of being a child, and making sure that you embody that as you're doing these things. Don't go in there thinking, oh, I could never do this when I was little. Oh, I never got to do this before. Oh, you bringing all that negativity in that past into the now. Don't do that. Do the things you wish you could have done, even as a teen, even when you were in college, right? If you wanted to go to the speakeasies and the poetry spots when you was in college, do it now. Do it now, and do it with joy and intention and with gratitude. Now you have the space and the opportunity and the time, and use that energy and use the fuel that you get from doing those things to create. That's that. The next tip says, take the easy risk. It'll have a great return. And I think this was so important because often we think about risk as things that are hard, right? Things that are so difficult to do and that, oh my God, it's so unimaginable. No, if it's risky for you to go to the club, go to the club. If it's risky for you to go to the store and tell the man to pick the exact thing that you asked for and not the other thing, do that. If it's risky for you to post a provocative picture online, do that, right? These are things that some people don't care about. Some people don't think is risky, but do the thing that is the easy risk for you because it'll have a great return. The return will be you see that you survived. You made it. You ain't died. You did the risk and you survived it. You can do things that are risky and it can be easy, right? And it'll give you the energy to move more in that spirit, to move more in that way, right? So take the easy risk because it will have a great return. The next tip says, toughen up. As you elevate, you will get tried, okay? What this means is that as it's like more money, more problems. As things get better for you, more challenges, more even like really the same challenges, but like tougher and more harder and with more energy behind them is gonna start coming up, right? You thought you handled that problem, but what about that problem times 3 with a little cherry on top? Okay? You have to toughen up. You have to use your resources, use your tools, get ready, armor up. Get a support team, get an accountability buddy, and get ready to face the challenges because as you have better and know better, you gotta do better. So you're gonna have to get challenges and you're gonna face things that are gonna make you do better. You're gonna have to level up in what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're showing up and who you're hanging out with in all of these ways. And in order to do that, you gotta toughen up and get ready. You got this. The next tip is to chill on the vices and rest through it. Okay? This one is tough. This one is tough. This one is tough for me because I be using my vices like they tools and resources. I'm not gonna lie. Okay? And what came up for me when this came out was that, hold on, let me look back at it so I can be clear. Chill on the vices, rest through it. Right. What came up was that our challenges and our struggles drain us, right? And we move to these vices, or let me speak in I statements. I move to these vices because I feel like they give me energy, right? So if I feel like that's giving me energy, one thing that I can do instead of the vice is rest because resting also gives me energy, right? So I'm putting that out there to y'all as a way is that if it's coming up in the collective reading, it means it's not just me, right? We got to chill on the vices. Right now is the time to rest and evaluate. Are the vices actually helping or are they making shit harder? Are you spending so much time binge watching that you're not getting none of your creative shit done? Rest. When something comes up, rest. Relax. Chill. Listen to some meditative music. Journal. You know what I'm saying? Go outside in the nature and just be and don't think. You know what I'm saying? Rest through it. Rest through it because the vices can be getting in the way. The last tip, and thank y'all for holding on and holding through with me, is if you follow through for you, you cannot fail. Prepare to shine. What's coming up for me is that we are always following through for other folks, so we know that we can follow through. The reason why we may be struggling with doing what we want to do is because we are following through for everybody else. So if we try to follow through, and this is a collective thing, I know I done talked to people about this, so I can use the we. If we try to follow through on what we actually want and what we actually want to see, then we will trust ourselves, right? And if we trust ourselves and follow through, we will shine. So you got to prepare to shine by following through on what you said you was going to do for you. You know it's possible because you're showing up for other people. Now it's time to show up for you. Get into some rest and show up in the evaluation process of, are my vices working? Is the way I'm resting working? Is the way that I am affirming myself working? Is my circumstances around me working? Right? Do the work. You got this. We got this. And I'm here to support you if you need me. I love y'all.